transitioning from 2 kids to 3. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips on how to transition from 2 kiddos to 3. So if you are a mom who has just had her third, or a pregnant mama who's about to have her third, then stick around. Welcome to Mom for Every Season. If you are brand new, my name is Taryn and I am a mom of 3. I have a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And I had this video suggested by Yana over at The Productive Mummy. And if you haven't checked out her YouTube channel, make sure you do. I'll put it in the description box down below for you to click on after you're done with this video. She is expecting her third. She has 2 boys and is pregnant with her third, and was asking some tips and tricks on how to transition from 2 to 3 kids. If you are brand new and you are watching this video, I would love for you to stick around and hit that subscribe button. Can't talk. I post videos on everything from self-care and goals and habits, intentional parenting. So if any of that is something that interests you, then make sure you hit that red subscribe button. And without further ado, we'll jump right into this video. Hopefully that will help the shakiness, because apparently I'm talking with my hands too much. Tip number 1 is, and I had to tell this myself a ton, especially in the first year, but just to give yourself a ton of grace and really to, I guess, lower the expectations on what you can get done, which sounds horrible, but I think the less expectations I had on getting things done, just the happier I was. So really, until you can get a routine around your newborn's schedule, lower your expectations, especially on stuff like cleaning the house. Like, I really had to let go of having a perfect tidy house. And even now, it's hard to catch up. It's hard to keep up with all of the mess. So I've just really lowered my expectations. So I don't have this huge pressure to keep my house spick and span. So I devote my time to other things. And I think in the first month, really your only thing that you should work towards is a little bit of self-care and, of course, taking care of your children. And everything else will come with time. So just know that sometimes it can feel quite, I guess, chaotic, but it will get better. And especially once you start getting a routine with the newborn. I think if you were to poll, thousands of moms that have had at least 3 children, they would probably each tell you something different on what transition was the hardest. Like, some moms would probably think that having their first was the hardest, while some, might have thought that having 3 was the easiest transition. I do want to say, for me personally, I would say having the transition from 2 to 3 was definitely more challenging than any of the other transitions. But that, I think, is all dependent on your kids' personalities and temperaments and just how you mother your own children. So keep that in mind, that, it could be an easy transition, but there could also be some challenges. Which brings me into tip number 2. I would say this time it's more or less to have expectations that your older 2 are gonna go through regressions and temper tantrums and challenging behaviors, because it's an adjustment for them as well. I know that when we went, with my oldest, she definitely transitioned better when she just had a little brother. It was just super easy. She didn't have any jealousy issues. And then when we had Avery, it was just both of my 2 older ones went through some huge challenging times, behavioral things that we just had to work on as a family. And I guess the biggest part is to understand that your children are going through a big change too. So just not only having a lot of grace on yourself, but having a lot of grace on them and your husband, your partner, because it is a huge life change and everybody's adjusting. Okay, the next couple are just kind of little tidbits that I kind of learned along the way. I found when I had a newborn and my son at the time was 2, of course he's very rambunctious, he loves to play and roughhouse, and he just wanted to be part of everything, so that when I would go to sit down to breastfeed Avery, it was very challenging to get him to not climb all over me and try to wrestle me while I have this newborn. So I actually learned this from a friend But she had told me that when she had her second, that of course, same thing, her older one was like very rambunctious and wanted to play. So she said she would like let her older one play cars on her arms, kind of like a track, while she breastfed her younger one. And so I started implementing that, and that actually really helped because like Cohen felt included. So he was, he could play there and still be part of like our time together. He was really bored when Elena went to school, so he just wanted to play and be with me. And of course, it's an adjustment for him having this new baby around. So I found that really helped. Just a quick little tidbit. Okay, number 4 is freezer meals are like life-saving. If you are currently pregnant right now, I highly suggest you either get together with another group of moms and make like a big freezer meal thing. You guys can exchange stuff, do it on your own, whatever you need to do. Or even, I would say, it's funny because when you have your first, you have this like baby shower that's big and grand, and then by the time the third comes around, you really don't get anything because you have everything. But if people are asking what kind of things you can get for the baby, ask them to make you meals or maybe get gift certificates for food, because having something handy and ready to go or just something to pop into the oven it's literally life. It's amazing. That is like the best shower gift you can possibly give a mom that's expecting a baby. So definitely ask for help, maybe see if your mom or your grandparents can help, or sisters or whatever. See if they will come over and help you make a whole bunch of freezer meals. Okay, number 5, I think the hardest thing about having 3 now is just that my mom brain is the worst. So number 5 is just making sure that you have something to either write stuff down, use a planner, because you're gonna forget a lot of things. It's just the biggest eye-opener is that the fact that I have complete mom brain and cannot remember anything. I cannot hold more than 2 or 3 things in my brain, or I forget. So writing stuff down, using your phone to make reminders. You can do like audio reminders if you have Siri or whatever your phone has, but just writing stuff down and keeping track of everything, because you're gonna have to like write down all, especially as your kids start going to school. It just gets like, I cannot remember it. I need a planner. I need a calendar. I need notes and paper that I can write stuff down. Otherwise, yeah, it's completely gone and I've forgotten. I'm the worst at responding to texts because I'll be like, oh, this person texted me, I need to respond to them. But then I completely forget about it. And then it's like 2 days later, I'm like, oh, I either responded and forgot to press send, or, I just completely forgot. So if you're my friend and you're listening, I'm really sorry for forgetting to text you back. But my mom brain is horrible. And hopefully it will get better with time. I hear that it's worse when you're pregnant, but I don't know. I think it's worse when you have a whole bunch of little children running around because you're trying to keep track of everything. Okay, and number 6, I think we're on, is it kind of goes along with expecting regressions and temper tantrums with your older ones, but just kind of an antidote to all of that is just making sure that you spend some one-on-one time with each of them, even if it's only for 10 minutes a day. Just kind of devoting some one-on-one time with them. I know I find this a little hard because my husband works away. So the days that he is away, I really have to kind of like, I don't know, be like a little MacGyver or magician and try and find some time just to be able to spend. So usually when Avery will go down for a sleep, Elena's at school, so I'll try and spend time with Cohen. And then Cohen goes to preschool or goes with his speech therapy. So then I'll try and spend time with Avery. And then that leaves Elena. And with Elena, we've really had to kind of rearrange our schedules. She's going to be almost 8, so she gets a little bit of a later bedtime. So she just plays quietly in a room until I can come there, and then we can spend some one-on-one time with her. And it's really kind of up to what they want to do. I find that helps immensely in just the behavior side of things, and they feel more loved, and it's just all around better for everyone. It could take time to try and figure out what works best for you and your family, or what works best for your kids. Of course, each child is different, and some might need more time than others. And I even highly suggest learning what your child's love language is. So there is a book called The 5 Love Languages, which is more geared to couples, but there is also one for children. And children tend to have kind of a mix of all 5 of them, but you're gonna know your child best and know what they want, how they feel most loved. So I know for my oldest, she really loves, she loves like having attention on her. She loves when she does her little performances, like her dancing or singing or gymnastics. Whereas like Cohen is more like rough and tumble. He likes to wrestle and stuff and snuggle. Like that's definitely more his love language. And I'm still trying to figure out Avery's. She's pretty young still, so she's still got a mix of everything. And she still loves to snuggle. She's my baby, so hopefully she'll snuggle for like a little bit longer too. But yeah, figuring out your child's love language will help with that as well, and expanding on the time you spend together. And number, I think it's 8, maybe it's 7, I'm not sure. And I think this one is by far the most important, but is taking care of you. So whether you need self-care, some form of self-care, some form of, maybe a hobby or just something just for you, because when you spend time on yourself and become more self-aware, you just become a better mom in general. So that's the way I always look at it. I know it's hard to find the time, but you are so worth it, and you deserve that time, and your children deserve that time that you can go back and like fill your cup or however you want to view it. But it's important just as much for you as it is for your children, because you become a better mom because of it. And not to say that it's not about, taking bubble baths or having a manicure. Like if that's something that, helps you, then by all means do it. But just trying to find something that, helps you feel restored and refreshed and kind of just connects you back to you. Because in amongst, becoming or being a mom, you can get a little lost in motherhood and it can consume you. So just finding something that is just for you, whether you need to find something that, as a hobby or gives you a sense of purpose or lets you be creative. I am very passionate about journaling, and I love to take a little bit of time to just take 5 minutes to meditate even, because it helps me feel more relaxed. If you're interested in any type of those videos, I have a ton of journaling videos. I'll make sure I post them in the description box down below as well, or I can post them here. So check those out. And I think just another little bonus, insight would just be to know that I think as it's true in life, it's also true in motherhood that there are going to be ups and downs, and there's going to be some like really hard months. I mean, you have that with if you've had 2 children or 1 child, there are definitely some more challenging months than others. And then there are like other months where it's just like you're really in flow and you're feeling really good. So just know that if you are in like the trenches of motherhood and you're having a bad time or it's just really challenging, just know that there is, a brighter side coming soon. I'm called a mom for every season because I encourage to embrace all seasons of motherhood, because even amongst the challenging times, there's always a reason why it's happening. And you're not going to gain those insights and lessons without that kind of darker period of time. If you're pregnant, I would love to know how far along you are in the comments down below, or maybe you've just had your little one. You can comment that down as well. Again, if you're brand new, I would love for you to stick around and hit that subscribe button. I post tons of video on self-care and just empowering mothers, because I love helping to empower moms to live their best life, whether they need help with their goals and habits or they need help with their self-care. So if that's anything that interests you, make sure you stick around, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And that is it for now. Bye for now.